Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today checking out some more beer here from the summer house in Lücken. It is our last day and today we're drinking only stouts. Imperial Stouts. 4 different ones. I'm going to of course be sharing them, but we'll see how that goes because most people here do not like stout too much. But, you know, I love them, so I'm sure I'll enjoy them. This is from Gänstaller. Earlier this summer, late spring, Brett and Tobias and I bought a mixed pack of beers on Gänstaller, and one of the beers I wanted to try, even though it's not summery, was their Imperial Stout, because they just released this Imperial Stout, well, a few months back now, and it's called Onyx. It's dark, thick, and exquisite, it says. It's 12%, they say Russian Imperial Stout, and it's just bittersweet, opulent, and schwer. I mean, I think that means heavy, and it's made with barley malt, wheat malt, water, hops and yeast. So there we go. I think it might be double mashed or something because it looks crazy thick. I mean, look at that motor oil in the glass. That is much thicker than I expected from a classic brewer. Mostly classic brewers I associate with slightly lighter beers when it's Imperial Stouts often, but that looks beautiful. Opaque, thick tan head. Let's take out the aroma on Onyx. Oh, it's really old school Imperial Stout. Super roasty and umami rich and dark fruity. This really smells like Boris or something like that from Dogfish Head, just without like that oaty sweetness. Almost like a little bit of a sugary thing, but I think that's just leftover sugar because it says there's no sugar in here. It's all malt sweetness. Oh man, dark fruit, raisin, figs, prunes. Super rich and dense. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad. I got the dead cat on to try and circumvent that a bit, but yeah, it smells awesome. Ashy and burnt too. Caramel. It smells old school, but really intense. Maybe with a thicker, sweeter new school twist as well. But again, maybe it's more or less Doris actually, because it smells like it's going to be thicker than Boris from Hop and Frog. But let's try it. Cheers, guys. Oh man, that is really old school. If you're afraid of roasted malt, you will not like this. This is so heavily roasted, like really charry, like almost like really like, right now I'm just sitting with flavors of burnt charred meat almost, like when you just like really heavily char a steak or a pork loin or whatever. That rich umami just sits in there, and it's pretty damn dope. But there's some sweetness to support it, and a little bit of bitterness, but it's also 80 IBUs. So, you know, kind of like a lot of modern brewers, they don't really add much hops in their Imperial Stouts anymore. They're sweeter and lighter and, you know, modern. This is like the total antithesis to something like that. And I think because it's so rich and dark and dense, this would do perfect in a bourbon barrel because it has the flavors to withstand, you know, all that sweet fudge. And the mouthfeel is fairly thick. It's not like the heaviest and thickest, but it's really dense and creamy. Nice soft carbonation to it. Man, it's like so much like roasty, ashy tobacco charry. Like, it's so charry. Like, almost like ashtray, like charry tobacco notes. And there's a hint of like a muscovado sugar or something. Just like a slight complex malt sweetness. Like there's definitely caramel. There's really bitter dark chocolate, really like 80% bitter dark chocolate or something like that. And then there's underlying layers of dark fruit, but it's super light. Don't think British style Imperial Stout. It's all about old school hefty malts. It really reminds me of old school American Imperial Stouts, like really intense and roasty and bitter. Man, that's delicious. There's a little bit of a hop character left too. It's a little bit hard to pinpoint what it is, but there's like a generic hop flavor, but it's just a little bit. But man, it's dense and it's thick, and this is awesome old money beer. It's like it's really hard, I think, for a lot of people to enjoy this. If you're a new school drinker or you're not too into like hefty, roasty, bitter flavors, because this is like really a bitter Russian, old school Russian Imperial Stout, like huge mouthfeel and huge, like it's so sticky, it leaves a sticky gloss on your lips. And I love that like tobacco, like smoky, burnt edge, like again charred meat or something because of the umami in there. Like I think this would be much better in a bourbon barrel because some of that umami would be kept in check by some sweetness from the bourbon with like some fudge and everything. But as it is right now, it's drinking pretty damn good. Man. Gänstaller does some great beers and they can do stuff like this too. That is damn good. Again, like that deep dark chocolate. I think I will actually go as far and say this is early world class. But it's old school world class. I think if you're into huge, roasty, bitter, umami-rich, charry, malty, heavy imperial stouts that's not all about fudgy sweet goodness, pastry boy stuff, then this is for you, and this does it really right. I won't say it's the best imperial stout I've ever had, but I think it at least deserves a 95. Like, it is so freaking crazy intense and tasty, and then it's just like the silkiness and slickness of it. This is lightly chilled, and it's just drinking really well. I love that umami charry, almost meaty thing. I wonder if they put a touch of smoked malt in it. That might be it. It gives like a slight edge of umami meatiness. It's just a little bit, but it's a perfect amount. I bet this gets like 3.9 or something, 3.8 on Untapped because it's, I haven't checked it out on there, but I want to bet there's a lot of people that don't like it because it's so heavy on umami and roast. This is easily the thickest and richest imperial stout I've had from Germany. And it was like €4 or something. It was really cheap. Like, all the Gänstaller beers are so cheap. The fun thing is also, the more I'm drinking it now, the more I'm getting like bitter dark chocolate, but with also like that caramel flair, almost like a hint of vanilla. Yeah, it definitely deserves a 95. It's that just hitting world class mark for a classic old school Russian imperial stout. But I will say there is a bit of new school flair with some of the sweetness, but also the density and mouthfeel. Those really thick, heavy, dense mouthfeels is more a new school thing to me than old school. But yeah, really good. Man, woo! Big stuff. 12%, you can't taste it. It is just drinking amazingly. So 95, guys. Wow, this really took me by surprise. I didn't expect that. So yeah, 95 for Gänstaller Onyx, Russian Imperial Stout. Check this one out. I believe they have it still on their web shop. So head on over to Gänstaller's web shop if you want to try this. That's the only place I know where you can get it. And they ship in Europe, of course, only. But if this makes it to the States or something, I'd say definitely check it out if you like old school, intense, roasty imperial stouts. And that's also, like, it's hoppy, but it's not like, say, Old Rasputin, where you actually really taste a lot of hoppiness. So yeah, really good. So if you guys had a chance to try this, let me know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page, Twitter, and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers, and see you guys in another beer review.